Broadcasting from Bass Hole Studios in Hollywood, California. You're listening to I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass. We've all been one, so let's talk about it. Now, here's your host, Doug Bass.
He's an asshole, sir.
He's an asshole.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Doug Bass. This is I'm an Asshole. Hope everyone had a nice weekend, whatever. We got a fun show for you today. We have Michele Traina is our guest coming in later. We will talk to her and see what her asshole story is. Been watching some crazy videos on Facebook. There's a video of a woman who has a snake. I don't know what kind of snake it is. Something fucking dangerous, because she opens the thing. She opens the little cage that it's in, and she's all nice to it. And then the thing attacks her and grabs her arm, and there's blood everywhere, and it gets pretty violent, the video. It's kind of gross, but I'm going to play this audio clip, just the beginning.
Smile for the camera, Stink.
Hi, baby girl. Hi. You gonna come out? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Need a hand?
no. I'm gonna have Chris help. Hopefully. Oh.
Should I continue filming?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Kind of figured.
No.
And, like, the one guy doesn't even help her. He's, like, poking the stick at it. And the thing is, like, there's just blood dripping off of her arm. And, like, the funniest part is, like, like, they're like, oh, my God, like, do you want me to stop filming? And the one guy's like, yes. And she's like, no. And then the guy's like, no. And then the guy keeps filming. And he lets it go for, like, a minute and a half or so. And, like, blood is dripping off of her. And then eventually he's like, I'm going to put down the camera and help you. I'm going to put it down now. You're like, yeah, fucking help her. There's only one guy helping her. This lady's going to lose her arm. God, she's an asshole. I think she's an asshole. Like, why is she... man, doesn't even look like she has any experience with this friggin' snake. She just puts her arm in there and the thing attacks her. That's crazy. I mean, I killed a mouse a week ago on one of those sticky pads, and I felt like an asshole for killing it because, well, it was chewing up my garden, so I definitely wanted it out of my property. But I bought one of those, those humane traps where it doesn't, like, snap and kill the thing. Instead, the mouse just sticks on there. And I thought that would be better because I was like, well, the thing's not going to break its back and snap it and whatever. But then the thing, like, I hear it get stuck on the pad, and you just hear it squealing and crying. And I'm like, oh, this is far worse than the other thing. Now I got to, like, pick this thing up and dispose it. Like what am I going to do? I'm not going to peel the mouse off, like, with my hand. Like, fuck that. That's disgusting. Like, I just felt bad about the whole thing. I mean, it's inhumane, but what are you supposed to do with these rodents? I don't know. I mean, I wish I had that fucking snake. I would have just, threw that in my garden and it would have eaten the mouse. No, but this lady, I mean, if you can go to my Facebook, Doug Bass, the video is up there. It's crazy. It's you got to see it. Well, I definitely felt like an asshole killing that mouse. That's for sure. Didn't deserve to die. But I also want to try to grow my garden. So I'm in between the two things. I don't know what the right decision was. What do you want me to do? Huh? Yeah, I've grown a garden during quarantine, and it's become a royal pain in the ass. I got to tell you. My wife started out by buying plants for the garden. She bought, like, tomatoes and peppers and herbs, all kinds of stuff. But she left them in the little, pots that they come in. And you really have to replant this stuff. You can't just leave it in the things. And I told my wife, I was like, you got to replant these things. And she's like, well, no, they can grow in the thing. And I'm like, yeah, up to a certain point. And then they're going to outgrow that thing, and you got to repot them and all this shit. And we have a giant planter, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I've never done this before. And so I went and bought, like, topsoil and fertilizer, and I put it all in the thing. I replanted everything, basil, tomatoes, and then, like, I forgot you had to get the tomato cages. I had to go back to the store like 5 times for all different shit because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a green thumb. But I don't know what I'm doing, and now I'm stuck doing this. My wife has not helped with the garden at all, which is fine. She's busy doing other things. But I get these projects, she starts a project, and then I usually finish it, which is fine because I guess that's my job as the husband. But we work together on other things. But this has become like a royal pain in the ass, and now I'm spending way too much money on this garden, and the mouse ate, I had 3 tomatoes growing, and then the mouse ate that, and the mouse ate all the basil, so I had to kill the mouse. And now they're growing, sort of, but, one of them died, and I'm just like, this is annoying. I'm all for, 3 little tomatoes. I'm at the point where, I'm getting very frustrated, and it's I'm at the point where I just want to go, buy the tomatoes and the fruit and whatever from the friggin' grocery store and just put them in the garden. Just put them in there. That way it looks like they grew, and then people come over. It's like, oh, look at the tomato. Yeah, they grew there. Just pick them out. Yeah, fresh. That's where I'm at right now. This thing has become a royal pain in the ass. I don't know. It's a lot of work, gardening. It's a lot of fucking work. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even know if it's worth it. I mean, I guess it's good we have this garden if this quarantine still happens. We can eventually live off the land maybe if these things grow properly. But I don't think they're gonna. I mean, I'm starving over here waiting for a goddamn tomato to come in, and all I got is a green little bud. I got 1 jalapeno pepper. That was it. 1 full jalapeno pepper grew, and I picked it, and then I put it on the counter in the kitchen, and I showed my wife, and I'm like, look, here's 1 jalapeno after fucking 2 months of this shit. We better make something with it right now. Figure out what we want to make. And then it sat there 2 days, the friggin' pepper. No one touched it. I kept walking by. I'm like, no one's made anything with the goddamn pepper that we grew, all this work that was put into it. So eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to cut it up and put it in some eggs. Finally used it. And it was fine. But I didn't even enjoy it. I didn't even enjoy eating the friggin' pepper because it was too much work to produce this thing. Asshole garden. It is. It's a fucking asshole, this garden. It's taken over my life. But now I'm also obsessed with it, too, because now I'm like, I want this thing to work. Now I'm like, I got to prove to the garden that I can do this. So, yeah, I keep going back to the store, buying more shit, spending money I don't want to spend on a freaking garden. It costs way too much money to run this garden. I mean, it's cheaper just to go to the store and buy the produce. God damn it. All right, sorry. See, I get worked up over these stupid-ass things. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Michele Traina.
Hang tight. We'll be back with this week's Asshole right after this.
If you didn't already know this, I'm actually a professional dog walker. That's right, if you live in the LA area and you need your dog walked, hiked, or watched, hit up Dogs Dig Dug Pet Care. We've been in business for 12 years. I have experience with all types of breeds. My own 2 dogs, Waffles and Penny, they love other dogs and they can't wait to play with yours. Hit up Dogs Dig Dug at dogsdigdugpetcare@gmail.com.
You're listening to the I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass podcast.
All right, we're back, and my guest for this week is Michele Traina. She is the creator and star of her own one-woman comedy show called Divorce Diaries, and she is here with us today. What's up, Michele?
What's up, Doug? I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for being here.
How
I
you
know
doing?
it's late by you, so I appreciate you staying up.
It's all right. I stay up pretty late
so-
waiting
Waiting
for...
for what?
I wait for people to... No, I was going to say I stay up pretty late.
You wait for people to call you?
I wait... Well... yeah.
What do you mean? What are you waiting for at this hour of the night? It's 11:30 by you in New York.
I'm busting. No, I'm working, but I also if I'm seeing a guy, which I do a lot of this, I'm working a lot of the material about texting back, so it's in my brain of I stay up oh, did they look at my story? I'm a crazy person.
Oh, so you like stalk your fans? Is that what you're saying?
Not my fans.
You're like, has this person looked at my story yet?
Yes, I do that.
What person? A person you're dating or a fan? I know it's actually human nature to be like, I just posted this thing. Let me see how many people have looked at my story.
Yes. Not a
And if they did look at it, why haven't they like liked it on my actual other page or commented?
Well, I have people.
It's like, what are they thinking of it? They saw it. They either like it or they don't.
Well, I know, but I also have people that will like things and don't look at my story, and people who just like stalk me through stories and don't like my stuff. And that's the guy I'm talking about.
Okay, I don't even know who this guy is. For the audience that does not know, Michele and I have known each other since high school. Like 16, 17? I don't even know.
I was 17.
Something
You
like
were
that.
18.
I was 18? I don't even remember.
I know our age.
So we've been friends a very long time. We met doing summer theater in New Jersey, where we're both from. Hysterical, I know.
Comedy
but
night.
and now we do stand-up comedy. I usually open for Michele for her Divorce Diary show, which she usually tours the country with under normal circumstances. But right now, obviously, none of that stuff's going on. So we have resorted to Zoom shows and podcasts, and Michele does her Divorce Diary show every night almost on YouTube, on her YouTube channel. I just watched it. I just watched her show.
It was great. What do you think?
How did it go tonight?
It's off the. First of all, I almost fell asleep in my daughter's bed because she has to meditate with me every night.
During the show?
Right before the show. And then I was like, oh, shit, I got to shower. And like, that you saw me, like I had nothing ready. The live stream.
Well, you know, like this. Well, here's the thing. Look, I mean, these online shows, there's 3 people watching. One of them was me.
I know. 5, okay.
My favorite part of your show was when you went to hang up your Divorce Diaries poster on the wall behind you, and you dropped the thumbtack. And you were like, "Oh shit, I dropped my thumbtack," and then I pricked my thumb or something.
I thought
because that was like unscripted, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like
yeah.
I had It's fun. I've been enjoying it.
How do you like doing these online shows versus the live shows?
Well, I like being in person better just because I feed off of an energy of somebody in person. But I like the aspect of the screen because I would love to have Divorce Diaries on a screen someday on a network. So I like both, but it's time to get back on a stage. But I want to get back on a stage. It's just that I don't think it. I think the world of being in a club and the way we were in the last year is going to be different for the next 8 months. So gonna have to just
yeah.
I love what I do so much that the virtual component, it's just how I have to shift. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you are sticking to it. You are keeping things fresh with your show, which is great. I mean, I've done a couple of these online stand-up shows, and I don't know, I can't get into them that much. I mean, they're fun, they're okay, but I don't know. I don't know if they're for me. I don't know.
It's definitely a different
but
vibe.
you have stuck to it. You are stuck to it. I commend you for that. You are doing it every other night. All kinds of situations, Divorce Diaries online, Zoom. You have your podcast, Divorce Diaries. I mean, I'm always wondering, like, the people that are tuning in, though, it's like, I don't know if they're like true fans or what. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of both. You got sign-ups, just followers, because I do a lot of like from not sexual to like laughing about being the PTO mom to being really sexual about the sexy divorced mom. So I think you got some followers who are just looking, and then you got some.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, you've got some great material and jokes and stories and everything.
Yeah,
which,
I do have people who tune in who are like moms. I had
you have a mix.
I have a mix, but you're right. It is, and
that's what's hard about the Zoom and the YouTube. You have a mix. You have people that do know you and have watched your show before and are fans, And then you got your like, your pervert that shows up,
Yeah, I mean, I think too that what I've been with the Zoom shows, I think I've told you, but I had a run of the mill with Zoom. It was going great. I had 2 hacking situations. I have been lucky enough to have some
Oh
sponsors
yeah, you said you had a hacking. Didn't you say
twice.
like someone like started playing porn during your show?
There was there was 2 weeks in a row where they hacked into my show, and it was from 2 different accounts. So in other words, my show is being sponsored one of the weeks, so it wasn't my account, and the show prior to that was being sponsored by another person and who was just a follower of my show, and they hacked into his account too. So I was
Wow.
like,
So they just started playing porn during your show
yeah,
live.
yeah. I mean, we
What kind of
actually
porn
got
was
out
it? Do you
right
know?
away. As soon as we heard their voice on the second
You
time it
kicked them
happened,
out.
we just
You
closed
heard
the
moaning.
entire
You're
meeting.
like, this is not my show. What's going on?
Well, I started then doing a hacker disclaimer at the beginning of the show, and I since then, knock on wood, haven't had any issues. But I think they
That's good.
followed that because, and also you have to like enable.
Yeah,
a
he's
lot
a
of
stalker, this guy.
yeah, or guys, I don't know. It was crazy.
See,
And
he's an asshole, this person.
he is no, he beyond. I think asshole's too nice of a word for him.
Oh, okay, we can go further. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. No, but this is the I'm an Asshole show. So I thank you for coming on.
I'm excited.
So I do want to get to any specific asshole moments in your life, stories, situations. Do you have anything in particular that you'd kind of like to share with us?
I mean, I have a lot, so I'm gonna go. I have 2 specific ones that I'm gonna bring
All
to the
right,
table. One involves you.
let's hear them.
You want to hear the one that involves you first or last? I think maybe I should say that one for last. I was
Oh,
an
I'm
asshole to
involved in
you.
it. Oh, you were?
Yeah, I mean the
Oh,
whole
okay, yeah.
island situation.
All right, well, let's save that for
And
last. Go ahead. Whatever you want to
I'll
do.
save it for last. All right, let's do the. This is where I was an asshole. I think oh god, there's so many. Well, I could say this. When I was right out of divorce, right? I thought I found somebody that I was clicking with, and I was taking it too fast, and with him, even though we didn't have sex yet, and like he
Mhm.
was a coworker's brother, he was also a recovering alcoholic. Like he wasn't like bad. He was a sweet guy. But then our sex was horrible. And the first night that we tried to have sex, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I broke up with him like
Coworkers'
immediately.
brothers. So did you
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
tell the
bad.
coworker? Was that bad?
The coworker and I stayed friends.
Did you tell the coworker?
I couldn't
Oh,
tell
that's
her though.
good.
Like it was a weird situation. And
Couldn't
like
tell her.
I could, but I
Could be
apologized to
like
her.
your brother is horrible. Is a horrible lay.
Because what was this? Like, here's the other thing. I think it was also the fact that like he lived in his basement apartment where there was no actual stove. He had a hot plate.
like Wayne's World. What I mean,
Yes, it was weird.
he had a
It
hot
was like a
plate.
dorm room. He had a hot plate. Yes, I'm not even joking.
So on a date, did he cook you like some ramen or something on his hot plate?
We didn't even. I don't even know what we didn't have dinner. He invited me to his high school reunion, and it was like we made a weekend of it.
Hmm.
That was the first weekend I was over, and it was like that. The first time we
All
tried to
right.
have
So
sex.
so how? So okay. So the sex wasn't good. You dated him maybe a couple times.
Immediately.
Now this is
first
you.
Yeah.
You ended it immediately. Okay. So is this
Yeah,
you
and
being
he
an asshole?
blocked me. He blocked me immediately.
Why are you an
after.
asshole in this situation?
Because maybe I should give him another try. But I told and I said to him like bluntly, I
But
need
how
to
did you end it? Did you ghost him, or you were just like,
I told
stop
him.
calling me?
I told him, but I told him I can't be with him like immediately after that weekend. And he was like shocked because
And
I
how
had
did he
shared.
react?
He blocked me from
He
everything.
was shocked.
He's like, I
He
can't even
blocked
be
you.
with him.
See,
And
he
the thing
can't
is,
even
like,
see you on social media or anything.
Facebook or anything. But it was only like 3.5, 4 weeks. It wasn't that long. It was a big
I
mistake.
don't think you were an asshole in that circumstance. I mean,
I feel like I made him feel bad
you were
about it.
honest with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were honest with him. You told him the truth. You didn't ghost him or ignore him or lie to him and lead him on continually. Like you were an honest person. So I don't think you were an asshole in that situation.
Well, I appreciate that because I felt bad. And then like his sister and I finally said something to her like a month later. I was like, I'm so sorry it didn't work out between me and your brother and I. She goes, oh, it's so sad. And I was like, well,
So sad. She was like waiting to be invited to the wedding.
I think so.
So sad. She said it's so sad.
Yeah.
Why would she say it's so sad?
I think because
It sounded like she had a lot invested in this setup.
here's where I feel like the asshole. I went out of my way to get set up with him in the beginning.
Oh, so you pursued it through her. So wait, you can't. Okay, all right. So wait a minute. Hold on. So you continually pursued trying to get set up with this guy through your coworker. Is that true?
I mean, it took like 2-3 tries, and then we set up on Facebook, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'll say something to my brother."
So you were bugging. Were you like bugging her? Like, hey, when are we going out? When am I going out with your brother? When am I going out? Like that kind of thing.
A couple of times, I didn't bug her, but I did bring it up a couple times, and I felt like if I would have brought it up once, she wouldn't have done anything. But now I understand.
Right. Okay.
I feel like you might have had this problem before.
So you feel like you annoyed her a little bit to get the thing going, and then it didn't work out, and then you wasted her time and his time and whatever.
And then also I felt like we both were like really liking each other at first, and I think that led to an even bigger drop, when something's like, oh, this was not what I expected. Well, we didn't have sex till the time that I bumped him. So when I realized, I was like, oh, this is not going to work out. That's when I was like, ooh. Yeah, it was, I felt like an asshole, but I also, being honest, I felt like was the better thing to do than continue to not try having sex with him again. Yikes.
So sad.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
she couldn't sleep at night after this thing didn't work out.
I think she was okay. I think the fact that I said something made it feel better.
Yeah, I'm sure she's fine. She's fine. I'm sure she didn't lose sleep.
You played him on stage.
Look, I mean, I played him on stage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I play Michelle's various ex-boyfriends in her Divorce Diaries show. I guess I played this guy. I don't even know.
So remember, depending on the era of Divorce Diaries, you started to remember that one we did on stage in New York City. You performed him. It was really funny. It was Tickle Fingers. He was
vaguely, yeah, I think so.
He was a paint store manager, and
all right, I played him very like effeminate.
That was one of my favorite.
He's obsessed with paint. He was obsessed with paint. I was like, oh yeah. You work for Sherwin-Williams. Yeah, I like to pour paint all over your body on a first date.
Tickle
Would
Fingers.
you be into that?
Yes.
I don't remember what I did with Tickle Fingers. Anyway, people are gonna have to come see the live show to get what these characters are. Right now they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Tickle Fingers.
Well, I think I was an asshole to him, and then in the sense that I kind of, as soon as the sex wasn't good, I was like, I am out. And he was like, what the hell? Like the shift. Right.
Well, there's no time for that. You don't want to waste your time.
No, not at all.
I'm sure he was fine. He just went home and jerked off and, contemplated killing himself, and it was all good. But he's fine now. I'm joking. All right. So look, I don't think you were an asshole in that situation. It's nice of you to own up to maybe thinking you were one. But I think you did the right thing. You didn't lead him on. You were honest. No one was hurt, and everyone moved on. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here next to my vibrator.
Yeah. All right. This isn't that kind of show yet. We'll see how it progresses over the next few episodes. All right. So, what else? You said you had another one?
I mean, I have a bunch more, but I think the one would be interesting is to talk about, I guess me and you, like, I feel like the Ivan thing was like, I wasn't so much an asshole in a specific situation, but I was turning into an asshole because I was staying with this man, staying with this man who was clearly sucking the life out of me, not getting a divorce and being married and just having.
Do you want to explain that, like, very briefly?
Yes.
People don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I was in a relationship for like a year and a half with a friend. It turned out it was a friend first. He was going to get a divorce, and then we started sleeping together. It was horrible. And
you dated a married man, and he never left his wife.
He never. Thank you. Yes. I hate saying.
That's pretty much the
I
That's
hate
the whole thing.
it is the whole thing, and I'm ashamed of it. But I like to share it because of the fact that it had an impact on my life in a negative and positive way. The negative, obviously, being that I was hiding it, and I was losing weight, and Doug was the only person that knew. So I was an asshole because I would vomit everything onto Doug, and it sucked his energy dry, right? And I felt real bad,
Mm.
but like I felt really bad. I felt like that, and I also felt like an asshole for engaging in the relationship. So toward because his
Well, I
wife
mean,
found out,
look,
I
when you
wouldn't
were going
lie.
through that period in your life, I mean, as a friend, I was trying to help you,
Yeah.
and give you my advice, and I would give you my advice, and over and
Right.
over again would not take it.
I
Um,
know, I know.
and I mean, look, and I'm not saying it's easy to get out of that kind of situation when you have an emotional attachment to someone. But there's only so much I could do to give you advice, and you got to go through it yourself almost to realize what it is and what you want and what you don't want and what you're becoming, or how you feel. And that's just time. That's just the human nature of the situation, figuring it out.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I was at one point so sucked into I couldn't get out mentally for myself, not
Well,
because of anyone.
look, I don't think you were. Again, I don't think you were an asshole during the situation. If
I
anything, this guy is the asshole
well, I
for
think I
leading you
was.
on, being married.
Yes, but the asshole part of me is me being the asshole towards my friend and being the asshole towards my even his wife, like not even thinking twice that he would be lying or fear. I was fearful, but
Mhm.
like being the asshole and even talking to somebody who is in between marriage and divorce, you know what I mean? Or you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean,
It
well,
was
look.
bad. So, you're the asshole to yourself almost. I mean, I know what you're saying because, but like, I felt like an asshole, like if for doing something like that. So I guess that's a big moment
Right.
that I just was
Well,
like,
I mean, if you feel like an asshole, then part of you might be one.
yeah,
That's
that's where I think
during
that's
that situation.
I think that I never would want to have my daughter hurt somebody, or I would never, like, in other words, I want to lead by example. And I was very open with my daughter about how mommy's with somebody who doesn't want wants to keep her a secret. And over again, I'd break up with this guy, and this, and then I was still, all of a sudden he'd message me or text me, and something would change, and nothing really changed. And to think,
Mhm.
when I finally, his wife found out, after we had not talked for
Oh,
2 months.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she called from
So
his
you
phone
actually talked. You talked to the wife, right?
a couple of times. Yeah, a couple of
That must
times.
have been awkward.
It was so awkward because the first time we talked, he threw me so far under the bus. He threw me under
Weren't
the
the
bus
three of you on like a conference call at one point?
twice, yes. And then I was on the phone
Oh
with her
my
once
god,
after, a month later. So
that's crazy. That's insane to me.
well, it was insane.
Like he didn't he call you? Didn't he call you? And all of a sudden, like she just appeared on the phone.
Well, what happened was his son found these messages on the computer, and
Oh
then
my god. What, he
and
had his like iMessage hooked up to his
yeah,
MacBook or something?
yeah,
Oh, what an idiot. What an asshole.
yeah.
Everyone should know that's the first fucking thing you disable when you buy any iPad, iPhone, MacBook.
It's like,
That's
do
the
you?
worst idea that Apple has ever integrated into their products.
I
That
know.
has ruined so many fucking relationships, I think.
I think he actually got. I found. I think his first mistress, because he had another relationship. He's had multiple relationships with other women. Now I found out too afterwards, but she swears it was just me this time. But I don't know. And she knew about it too. That was the other part that was weird. She knew about it, and like I was
Mhm.
like, well, what the hell? And
And
I
she didn't care. She didn't care really.
so I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I don't understand. I said, well, what is going on, man?
Wasn't it just like a casual conversation? And she was just like, he doesn't
She
love
was
you.
very mad,
He's just
but
doing this.
she was mad. Like, she wasn't mad. She was mad, but not like screaming. Like, I'm sorry.
What is that noise?
That's my mic stand keeps the hand screw.
Just leave. Don't touch it. Don't
I'm not-
touch it. Just leave it.
I know, that's what
You're disrupting the broadcast. People are gonna think there's like crazy things going on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I
It's all
know.
good. It's all
Just
good.
leave it is what I should
So
have done with him.
yeah, you should. Yeah, exactly. Well, look, it took you some time to get through that situation, and you learn from it, and you move on. That's all you can
Yeah.
do.
I mean, I just think the asshole part of me was like, I felt like it drained us to a point where I was like,
Oh, it definitely drained me. I couldn't talk to you for a while, to be
yeah, I
honest.
mean, I think it was
I
affecting.
mean, I mean, look, I helped you, as much as I could with the situation, and I did feel drained for a while, and I was like, look, I can't, like, I will talk to you, but I can't talk to you about this
I know,
anymore.
and I don't want to do that to my friends.
And
So that's why
I felt like an asshole too, as a good friend. I felt like an asshole, like I was like failing you in some way
no, not at
because
all. I mean,
I mean,
not at all.
what was I supposed to do? I mean, I couldn't take the energy and talk about it anymore.
I don't. I
And
think
it wasn't like I gave you advice like 3 times in 3 weeks, and then I
it
was
was
like,
a
I can't talk
year.
about it anymore.
It was a
This was like
year
going
of
on for like a year, right?
It was technically a year
Yeah.
and a half. But there was periods towards the end, like last year, we didn't talk for 2 months, him and I. So you wouldn't hear about it. And then when I did the show in Vegas, oh, that's right. When I was out in Ohio with you for your show, the Dog and Funny show, I had messaged him when I was drunk. We got like drunk at
Mhm.
one. Remember the first night we got like I got tipsy and I messaged him like an idiot, and then we started talking and we saw each other again, and then I ended it again, and then we saw each other in August, and he's like right before I went to Vegas, and he's like, well, I'm gonna tell her, and I was like, okay, good, and
Right.
that's when I left for Vegas, and he was making me feel guilty because I went out with somebody else in the summer, and and remember you saying, okay, so what, you're gonna date this guy now? And I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, probably. And but so stupid. But yes, it
Oh my
drained it.
god.
I was
No. No.
hiding
I
it. I
know.
was
I know.
hiding it
Yeah,
from
you hide things like that. And then you moved on from him and you started dating some bagel guy that we didn't think was a good idea. These are all people that are in Michelle's show Divorce Diaries, by the way.
yeah,
So
the
you
Greek
should
is a
check it
new
out when it
character
comes to
too.
them.
So the Greek and I, we dated a few times, but we still talk here and there. He's not the one for me, and it's
So
at this.
anyone that Michelle dates ends up in her one woman show, just so you know.
Yeah, so heads up.
So
If you
if you're
want
gonna
to
date Michelle, you better be good. You better make it work. You don't want to appear in that show.
or I think that even if it's going to work, though, they're going to be in the show, so they just have to deal with it.
Let me ask you a question. Now, are you dating anyone right now?
No, I'm not. Not right now.
Well, it's COVID, so no,
I have
probably
a
not,
crush,
right?
though. I can talk about the crush if you want. He was an asshole.
I have a question for you about your
Yeah.
Divorce Diaries show.
Yeah.
What happens when you finally date someone in a long-term relationship again, and then you possibly get married again? What
Oh,
happens to Divorce Diaries?
I think it's still part of the show. I'm never giving Divorce Diaries up. I mean, I think that's the good part
So
of it. I think that divorce, if I get married again, I mean, I don't think marriage is a necessity. I think being in a relationship would be amazing, but they have to be comfortable with being a part of that package because it's my business. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't think it's a negative thing. I think it's so positive that that would be another chapter in the Divorce Diaries. I'm never not going to be divorced. I'll always be divorced. I'm divorced. I got
Right.
divorced. I don't take
So
that
you
away.
can always incorporate a new relationship or a new marriage into Divorce Diaries in some way that's creative and truthful to the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I didn't think about that.
Well, also, I feel
I like
like,
that.
yeah, I mean, I think that that's part, like, it's my baby. You know that it's gonna be, it's everything. I love it. And here's the other thing. I don't feel like right now a man would even like. I have struggled with the last couple of years of them coming to a show, let alone being in a committed relationship. So I'm not even too worried about it.
Mhm. What is with the so you do your YouTube show. I've tuned in a couple times. Sometimes you've become very popular on TikTok. That's true, right?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of using all social media platforms to get my content out there. And then I kind of shift the
Right.
content on each platform to suit that platform. And the YouTube live stream late night Divorce Diaries. So I just do stand up material late night, Mondays and Tuesdays. And then when I can, if I could do it every night, I would, but there's other stuff going on. Then the Zoom show is every Saturday night, Divorce Diaries, Saturday date night.
On Zoom. You can see it on Zoom. And then you sometimes show up in a towel in these shows, I've noticed.
Yeah, so I know you weren't a fan. What if it drops, right?
Well, I'm just concerned. I mean, I tuned in one day, and you're my good friend, and I was just like, you're in a towel, and you're like, you're doing your thing, you're moving around, dancing and shit, and I'm just like, what if that towel falls? This is a live Zoom. What are you gonna do?
Well, that was first of all, that was a live TikTok. But
I mean, I'm sure you'll get more viewers, but
I know, no, that's true. That's a good point. You're right. But I do a lot of towel stuff.
See, this is what concerns me of these YouTube and Zoom shows. Like I tuned in tonight, and like the one guy comments like this is blank. I'm not gonna say his name. This is blank from TikTok. I don't see bra. LMAO. That's the comment that the audience is making. Instead of like, hey, that was a great story, joke.
Oh, I know, but like that's a lot of women. I mean, the thing is, I try to
just be careful on Zoom. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
Well,
these people could be.
I wasn't doing that.
I don't want the towel to fall off.
No, I know. I'm not. I don't want the. I wasn't on Zoom.
I get it. You gotta dance around and you attract audience members that way. I understand. I know how the game is played, but your material
he doesn't
your material is great and it speaks for itself. And I love the show, of course, and I can't wait to get back out there when we're allowed to do live shows again.
I know that the best part is when we toured right before this in the South. I keep thinking about our 3-day shows in Nashville and Birmingham and Huntsville, and it's like now we're just on these screens, and I think it's
I know.
COVID.
Let me ask you this: do you ever feel like an asshole? Promoting yourself, doing these shows, TikToks, Zooms, YouTube, all this shit, Instagram? Do you ever feel like an asshole doing all this stuff?
No, because I'm trying to just promote my authentic story. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't feel like an asshole.
See, that's my problem. I feel like an asshole doing some of this stuff. I
think it's about
I feel like an asshole doing this podcast.
No, I think if it's near and dear to your heart and you believe in it. No, it's just like I have this idea, this concept. It's basically following my divorce journey, and everything encompasses that. So now, if I'm not a dancer and I'm promoting my line of sunglasses, of course I'm going to feel like an asshole if I'm standing in a bathing suit without the sunglasses, not posting about the sunglasses and just doing a TikTok video, because it has nothing to do with my sunglass line. I'm doing this all based around my divorce diaries, and I'll only feel like an asshole if I'm not being myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's true. See, yeah, I just feel like an asshole because I don't want to bother people for some reason. I want to inconvenience people, but I guess I'm doing it in a way by just creating content and posting it. It's like, sorry I popped up during your feed. I ruined your day.
No, but I think that we live in a society now. And again, this is why you need to listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, because I'm a big fan. It's not that. It's about this is how you grow your business. That's how you grow your business. That's how you market yourself.
That is true.
I think I love this idea of a podcast. Everyone has been an asshole in their life, and we talk about it, and it's actually almost therapeutic, and to kind of reflect.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, it is kind of therapeutic, and I want it to be funny. I mean, I don't know if hopefully it is. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
It will be. It comes organically too over time. It definitely will be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, look, I got nothing else. There's nothing else going on right now, and I like this topic, and I like talking to different people. So maybe people will come on and talk about these situations they've been in. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And you can do different TikToks with like pictures, like little clips of your podcast with pictures of.
I got to get into TikTok. I haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten into it yet.
It's not. I actually really like using it for making quick videos. I feel like it's helped me out a lot with certain things with content, not just posting on there, but just using it for like what I'm trying to do. I think,
I'm going to get into it. I think, especially to promote this podcast and stuff.
Yeah, it's great. You take little clips of this podcast, you put pictures on it, video, or use it as a voiceover on video. It popping, baby. Poppin'.
Well, Michele Traina, she is the creator and host of Divorce Diaries. You can catch it on Zoom, YouTube, and where else?
So my YouTube
What
channel.
night is it on Zoom?
So I do it on Zoom almost every Saturday night, but I'm returning for July. It's going to be a little different because July 16th I'm doing a live in-person socially distant show. You can find all the information out at divorcediaryshow.com, but usually it'll be every Saturday night through Zoom and every Monday and Tuesday night late night Divorce Diaries live stream on my YouTube channel.
And where is this live show happening?
Okay, it's happening at Homegrown Jersey City. It's a craft brewery that's going to be has an outdoor patio performance area, and it's all Jersey brews. So you come and you sit out on the patio.
All right. So if you're in Jersey City next week, go check it out live.
That's right.
A rare live performance these days. All right. Well, Michele, you've really put yourself out there. I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your asshole stories with us. And I think there's only one thing left for you to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Doug, for having me. I'm Michele Traina, and I'm an asshole.
You've been listening to I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass. Please subscribe to us on all streaming platforms. Follow Doug on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Doug Bass Comedy. Thank you for listening, and remember, don't be an asshole. But if you are, talk about it. Have a good asshole story? Email us at doug@dougbasscomedy.com. We'll see you next time.